Hey, welcome to another episode of Idiocracy Talk Radio. We got Matt, we got Josh, aka World War III, going on right now. Uh, we're gonna talk about the No Kings. Oh, that was ugly as fuck. We're gonna talk about the No Kings protest. We're gonna talk about Burrow, possibly rumors of him reconstructing his contract. We're going to talk about Iran and Israel going at it. We're even going to talk about the Florida sheriff giving the nice warning to protesters that get out of control. Coming up next on Idiocracy Talk Radio.
It's idiocracy, but you gon' see the value and respect though when you talk with me. So come on, baby, walk with me. It ain't a topic that the crew can't touch. Share our views and our vibe. What we hide? It ain't much. This ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Share our thoughts and our views, you can't stop it. Said this ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Idiocracy, tell us what's the topic. Yeah.
There's that damn dog again.
And World War III is gone again. Oh, there he is.
All right. So let's kick off with the No Kings protest. So for the past, week now, we've had multiple protests going on around the country. Now, something to point out is, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. People can live their lives however they want. In terms of protesters, they can protest all they want. I'm perfectly fine. If you have nothing better to do, then make a sign and go stand on the side of a highway or stand on a side of a street and yell and chant as people walk by. Go ahead. I say the same thing for when it's election time and you got those people that stand on the corner, no matter if they're Republican, Democrat, whatever. They stand on the corner, they try to get you to honk the horns and stuff. Fucking have at you. Problem I have is when they start to get out of control and they don't understand that, yes, you have a right to an assembly. Yes, you have right to protest. Just like you have a right to freedom of speech. However, once you cross a line, it is no longer protected and you can have consequences.
Joe, if you're going to say it right. Your right to a peaceful protest.
Thank you. That is the key. Right to a peaceful protest. Now, peaceful protest also means that you cannot restrict the flow of traffic. You cannot restrict the entrance to a business. You cannot prevent somebody to and from different locations. So these protests where people are blocking the roads, where they are circling around cars and preventing the cars from moving, they have already passed that peaceful protest freedom. What are you guys saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say, well, let's give the reason why there was over 1,500 or 2,000 protests in different cities. Was they were protesting the No Kings because it was President Trump's birthday on Saturday, which coincided, and they made a big deal about it because he had a military parade on his birthday, which happened to be the Army's 250th birthday as well. So everybody said, oh, he threw a big parade out for himself, right? No, he didn't. He threw the parade for the Army for their 250th birthday. It was more of a recruiting attempt. So, they can start getting recruit numbers up. They can see how powerful the military is again under Republican leadership and not Democratic leadership. So it was more of just, hey, we're back. We're going to be strong. This is how we need to get our numbers up. So they displayed it. And it was just funny how when the military was marching down the street, they were so fixated. Oh, these guys are walking. They're not marching. You look at North Korea, when they do their military, they're all marching. They're all doing the specific march. Same thing with Russia. Hey, these guys are doing other things. They don't need to fucking learn how to march in a proper line. They do it in basic training. That's all they need to know. I don't even know. Joe, you were in the military. Did you have to learn how to march?
Yeah.
Like,
here's the thing is, and I have to watch the video to see, but what people don't realize is it's draining to march for a certain amount of time. Okay, now keeping in mind that, this isn't them marching to go to war. This isn't
Correct.
them, right? They're marching in a parade. So I guarantee, without even looking, and I'm going to look it up, but I would bet that without even seeing the actual parade, that their commanders gave them a type of at-ease command where they could walk. As long as they're staying in formation, they can walk so that they could handle the long distance.
and that's what it looked like. They were pretty much walking in unison in the formation. So I think there was probably about a 10 by 10, maybe a little bit more. I don't know, but that's kind of what it was looking like.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up because I want to see. Like, I didn't get to watch, but see, and that's the thing. Plus, also, here's the thing. There's a difference. Trump wasn't trying to do a military parade like the fucking North Koreans. Okay?
Exactly.
North Koreans, you start marching down, if you fuck that up, they shoot you in the head right there. Like,
No, not in another country. They don't do that.
the fuck they don't, especially North Korea. Hell, Kim Jong-un.
That's what dictators do, right?
Right. That's where people just get it fucking twisted. Like,
Well, and that's the whole thing for this No Kings protest is they think Trump is trying to become a dictator. He was president for 4 years prior. 4 years ago. He wasn't a dictator then. He's not a dictator now. He's not trying to do that.
All it is,
He's just a dick. Let's just put it that way.
and you know what? That's fine, because
You have to
the
be.
country needs a dick right now. There's too many people trying to cut their dick off.
Very
Are you
true.
mad because they get a month?
They get a whole month.
Still,
God damn.
they get a month, and they also get to do the No Kings protest. There's all kinds of stuff for
They
him
get them
now.
with signs with pretty foo-foo. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So to your point, I absolutely agree with you. As soon as you become unpeaceful, then I think you hurt your message, right? If you peacefully protest and people will listen to your message, hey, let's have a conversation. Like, why do you think of this? Okay, let me tell you what I think. And then that's how people need to come together. But when you continue to start acting out like they did in Portland, they attacked, or Seattle, they attacked a federal building again, the immigration building. Portland, same thing. Why is all these big major protests turning into riots in blue cities?
Because there's no backbone in blue cities.
He had nothing else to do.
Well, no, it essentially comes down. If you think about it, okay, look at the violent protests, the violent crime rate, the gun-related homicides, that are done in different states and cities. Okay, magically, majority of the numbers show that the highest places are blue cities. So, multiple things there. One, blue cities don't know how to, or let's just say individuals that support blue cities don't necessarily understand what the Constitution is and how to actually follow reasonable protest, freedom of speech, like in terms of tell your daughter to quit messing with the liquor. in terms of gun control, like they sit here and they talk about like raising gun control and doing all this, which is funny because if you notice, that's actually kind of dropped off the main points as of right now. It's not the hot topic. So wait, and we'll come around to that season here soon. It's like the weather, but they talk about these different things, but they have those things going on in their own cities, their own state, and they still have the worst rates, worst crime rate, worst violence, all these things, because that's not the answer. More government control is not the answer. And that's what the Republican Party, we want to be less control of the government. Government has less hand in the cookie jar, less responsibility for making sure that you're getting paid. No, you want to get paid, get a fucking job.
Yeah, go look on that. I mean, you see what's going on in Florida with the sheriff, what he was talking about down there, about these protests and stuff like that.
Oh, I'll tell you right now, this guy, let me share this clip. I'd fucking vote for this guy in a second.
If you resist off order, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear.
You guys hear it okay?
If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead. We're not going to play. This has got to stop.
And, I mean, people are talking shit about this guy and stuff like that, but nothing but the truth there. It needs to stop.
You're assaulting a police officer with a weapon, a deadly weapon, and if they fear for their life, they have every right to, unfortunately, fire and kill you.
Well, and the funny thing is people get the misconception that a lethal weapon has to be a gun.
Firearm.
It does not.
A Roman candle.
Can't.
That's what they're firing at them.
Oh no, they're firing like commercial grade fireworks is what they're doing. So a lot of them, they're just getting the little bombs out of the fireworks, and they're just throwing them into it, and that's why you see them just really big firework explosions.
And I mean, that right there, guess what? Fuck around and find out. You know?
Yep.
I mean, throwing a big old brick off a bridge, deadly force.
Yep.
You know, because
it's kind of like, did you guys see the video of the girl? She was trying to stop a car in L.A., and the driver ended up going through her and ran over her leg. Fuck around and find out.
Darn, that's the only thing that happened to her. She's lucky she's not dead.
Very well. I mean, it completely ran over her leg. So, it's...
someone gets in front of my car or hits my car with something, I'm fearing for my life. I don't know what's next. I got a 10-year-old daughter to take care of.
Yep. And what's weird is let's just say you're in a building with somebody and like they do something. You hold the door and you won't let that person out. The cops can charge you for unlawful restraint. It's almost like a kidnapping type charge. You blocking somebody's car and not letting them get through. To me, that's pretty much the same thing.
Tell me if this is the right video, Josh. I'm gonna pull this up here.
She look like you, a fat lesbian.
It might not be the right video then, because this one looks like a skinny lesbian.
No, this one was hefty.
Yeah.
No.
The hefty lefty.
No, this ain't it.
That's not it.
No.
This
It was
one
in
was
LA.
apparently a woman pedestrian in Riverside. No Kings protest on Saturday, was taken to hospital after being struck by what police are investigating as a felony hit run. Now, here's the funny thing about this. Okay, watch. Can you see my cursor? Okay.
Yeah.
Watch the crowd go up to this black car and tell me if this is. Let's see if I can zoom in.
Oh yeah, this is the big run over SUV. They hit the back tail light and bust it out, and then he runs everybody over.
No, watch because so. Hey.
I'm saying they hit the back tail light right there.
Tail light. Now watch. They're hitting it, and this guy's gonna kick the car, and the car drives off. I think that was the
What I'm doing.
Did I just see a fat Hold on.
You didn't see your body double, Joe?
Oh, I think I did. Hold on. Yeah, yep. Is that my body double right there?
Yep.
Right there? There went the shocks on that car. Like, and don't get me wrong, it sounds terrible. I mean, I feel bad for innocent people that are getting hurt and stuff like that, but when you do stupid shit, like, and here's the problem, is like, I guarantee you most of these kids, when they were growing up, the parents didn't let them do stupid shit. Hell, most of these kids would probably be feeling better if somebody let them put the fucking fork in the light socket like they were trying.
Mm-hmm.
What's the old saying from Tommy Boy? Did you paint chips as a kid?
Why?
Maybe.
Oh, I guarantee you half these kids would be like, I don't know why I got that question wrong. I put Herbie Hancock signed the Constitution.
When the fuck we get ice cream?
When the fuck did we get ice cream?
It's just, like I said, enjoy your protest. I mean, you have a right to do it, but simple as this. You're blocking the road. You're in my way. I'm sorry.
Hey Joe, look in our chat.
Yeah.
Pull up that video. So this is what upsets me about this whole organization with when they start protesting. And these are the same people that were protesting when George Floyd died 5 years ago. This is just absolutely pathetic in my eyes, what this person did. So once Joe gets up the video, we can view that one.
Well, one of the scary things is, too, we can throw this in here. Did you hear about the lead prosecutor here in Cincinnati? She said she'd be working the protest all weekend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And she says she's not, because we have an idiot as a president, that she's going to help the people that get prosecuted all weekend.
Is this it, Josh?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep, that's it.
Oh, the blocker, yeah.
But you could just move out the way. How is this a peaceful protest if there's nothing to do? No, it's not.
How do y'all as white people feel about stopping a black woman from going to work?
Oh no, not work. I care so much.
So you don't care about stopping black people from going to work?
Look at this line that you guys are causing. I'm not causing no problems. I'm not trying to. We're just trying to leave.
Like, just these are the same type of people that were out there claiming Black Lives Matter, but this young girl is trying to get to work so she can feed her kids, and you're going to stop her from doing that. So where were you at? I guarantee you weren't doing this for Black Lives Matter when they were doing their protests.
I guarantee you, that guy was doing this.
Stop off for ice cream. when the fuck do we get ice cream? Oh no, work.
Work.
I
Oh,
know,
no,
like,
work.
come on.
Fucking hippie son of a bitch. Like,
He's the one of the guys that signs up and gets paid $200 a day to protest, and just be
And
this ignorant piece of shit all day long.
It's crazy. They're starting to find the money. It's going to be crazy if they find out where all this money's coming from. If it is George Soros, are they going to go after him? Because hey, you're providing the ammunition for it. You're paying these people to go riot and do this to the cops. You're aiding and abetting.
I just it blows my mind. Like, and here's one thing. So I had a training the other day at work where we had to talk about, and I fucking can't stand this word, but equity. Okay, not equality. Okay, equity. Okay, do you know the difference?
Oh no, I'm waiting for ice cream.
When the fuck
Yeah,
did
I'm
we
waiting
get
for
ice cream
too.
Josh, Matt, do either one of you know the difference between equality and equity?
Nope. Go ahead and tell me.
Okay.
Joe has to look it up himself.
No, I'm pulling up this sorry ass fucking cartoon that they always show as an example here, and this is why I can't fucking stand. Okay, this is the problem with their mindset on this shit. Okay, so if you look here, shit, wrong one.
Was that a Nintendo game?
No.
Shh.
All right. So if you look here, all right. So equality means everyone has the same opportunity, right? Now, here's the funny thing about this is the cartoon is meant to make you feel guilty, right? So you have the tall kid standing on the box, the little girl standing on the box, and then the kid without the wheel or on the wheelchair with the box, right? And they're like, this is some bullshit. Like, well, equality, the kid with the wheelchair don't get to watch the game. Okay? So then they're like, oh, well, equity is giving everyone the same opportunities, but it might look different for each individual. So the tall kid gets nothing. The little girl gets 2 boxes, and then they build a ramp for the kid in a wheelchair. Okay? Well, I bring this up because, yet again, when we talk about, like, the protester that Josh sent the video where they're blocking the roadway and stuff like that, these are the same fucking hillbilly, hippie protesters that want equity instead of equality. Equity where everyone gets the same. Can you think of any kind of government agency in the world where everyone gets the same no matter how hard you work?
Not that I know, no.
Mm-mm.
There's one out there.
Dictatorship?
Communism.
Communism.
Okay. Communism, everyone works, everything gets put into a pile, and then it's distributed evenly to everyone. Okay, so everyone gets the same. No matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you do. Okay? Well, there's a reason communism doesn't work. Okay? Matt, what would motivate you to want to move up in a company or work harder or do a harder job than somebody else if you were getting paid exactly the same amount as the lowest person below you?
What would make me move up? I wouldn't want to where I'll be just as lazy as them. We're all making the same.
Right. Would you even want to be a manager?
No.
No. Because why would you take harder responsibility? Why would you take more responsibility for the same pay as somebody that doesn't have to deal with the bullshit? Right?
Yeah. Work hard for the money. You get choices in life. That's the reason I'm a manager.
Right. More responsibility, more requirements should equal more gain, more money. You know, and that's where people don't get it. Is, you know, like these people that bitch about like they want it $20 an hour for McDonald's workers, and it's like, look, I'm sorry, but it's not reasonable. Like,
well, it's like the hippie blocking the traffic for that young black woman to get to work, you know, to make money to put food on her plate for the kids, you know, like, oh, work, haha, like I'm gonna block you.
Well, and that's the funny thing is, like, to Josh's point, this is probably one of the same protesters that during the Black Lives Matter movement was standing up there saying that Black Lives Matter and that they should be treated better and everything else. But now he switched gears. So he doesn't want equality. He wants equity, which doesn't work. You can't have it where, oh, Black Lives Matter for this point in time, but now we're moving over to illegal immigrants, but they're all getting, even though, oh, you got a job, so fuck you. Sorry, you don't get to go to your job because now I'm worried about this person over here.
It's just so sad because I feel sorry for the immigrants that are coming over doing the process the right way, but yet you got all these illegals doing it the wrong way, and they're getting shitted on.
Well, and that's the funny thing, though, is the ones that are coming over here and doing it the right way, not getting shitted on.
They're absolutely in support of deporting everybody. That's the
correct.
crazy part. Yeah. They're like, I came over here legally. I did it the right way. And these people, they're doing it the wrong way. We don't want that. We left that type of system to come over here to get in a better system. Well, now, with what they're seeing, all it is rinse and repeat. They want the same issues that they have in different countries here in the U.S. right now.
Well, the funny thing is, you know, people bitch about the U.S. sending illegal immigrants back, or, you know, to where they originated from. Our country is one of the highest for allowing immigrants to come into the country. You know, people are like, oh, well, the country was founded on immigration. You're right. Okay. My great-great-grandfather, I still have his citizenship papers, came over in 1906 from Italy. And, you know, during that time, he came over through Ellis Island, and they asked him what his name was, and he told them, and they said, I don't like it, so we're changing your name to this.
But sorry, that was from my parents. That was from my parents, Ellis Island.
Sorry, I don't know.
But to your point on that, Joe, there was a story the other day about an American that was down in Mexico. She had a work visa. She had a work visa for so long, and she let it expire. It's expired like 20, 30 days. They picked her up. They sent her back to the U.S. So
not that.
Mexico's doing it, but I didn't hear any outrage about that one. So speaking of mass immigration, let's try to move on from that and go on to Israel. Okay, go ahead.
I gotta show you this one last thing because this is a perfect example of irony. Okay. So, you know, we tell people all the time, like, go ahead, if you like it so much in another country, go live there.
Reporting live from Hyper's Club in LA. There were who moved to our country, benefited these two celebrities. O'Donnell would say that moving it was not as what she imagined.
Racism in America. Before I sit here in Africa and deal with the bullshit bribery, the bullshit fraud, the bullshit scam, the bullshit too expensive, the bullshit not having no snack, the bullshit not having no food, the bullshit electricity, the bullshit hot water, the bullshit what's that shit called that be coming down? The bullshit animals, the scorpions outside the house, it's big ass spiders, it's big ass lizards, colorful lizards you ain't never seen before. all in the fucking room with you, sleeping with you, all the bullshit people trying to scam you when you go outside thinking you rich. So they trying to get more money off of you. I'm really trying to wrap my head around this shit. I'm really trying to wrap my head around how are Americans coming to Africa and being happy. Please comment down below, because for me, I'm ready to go. And I always used to say, if it's up to me, it will be. And I'm going to go out to Africa and make shit happen. No, I don't want to. I want to take my businesses back to America. I want to open up shop back in America, open up my dentist office, and all the stuff that I was going to do out here in America. Daddy, electricity.
So, perfect example. This girl unfortunately fell in the trap of she thought shit would be better in another country. Packed her shit up and moved to, I believe it was Ghana, or I'm messing the name up, but Ghana in Africa, okay? And she's like, oh shit, it's not sunshine and rainbows over here. I had it so much fucking better in the U.S. So now she's wanting to come back, which, you know, she still could, but the problem is shit's a lot more expensive than she thinks. She's not making the income, so it's a lot harder for her to come back. So moving on, you know, talking about over in that area with Africa and everything else. So moving on to the Middle East. So yet again, another country is going to fuck around and find out. Okay. And what I mean by that is, so Iran has started shit with Israel.
No.
Oh, go ahead.
No. Israel's the one who started this one.
Well,
so Israel started the bombing of Iran.
Why?
And that's because Iran wants to develop a nuclear weapon.
No, they don't want. They're working on it.
They are, and they were. There's no timetable when they actually had the nuclear weapon available. It could be a couple days, it could be 2 weeks, it could be a couple months, it could be a year, 2 years.
So
no one really knew how far along they were.
Why would that be a bad idea? Why is that such a concern for Israel that if Iran has a nuclear weapon?
So if Iran has a nuclear weapon, more than likely they are going to sell it to the Houthis.
Not even that.
Hamas, somebody else, and they were going to fire into Israel and have nuclear bomb there.
Iran hates Israel enough, they probably wouldn't even sell it. They'd launch it themselves.
What they were talking, they would have probably sold it to one of them, so that way they're the ones who's firing it off and not Iran. So that way Iran doesn't look like the bad guy.
So they can do plausible deniability.
Exactly.
Right. But
so
nonetheless, the nuclear weapon would be coming from Iran.
Correct. So Israel took the step with what it sounds like with the U.S. knowledge that they were going to bomb. That's kind of why President Trump has been slowly pulling troops out of Iraq in the bases and a couple of Middle East bases. He did not give his approval to do it, but he knew it was going to happen. Israel kind of just did it themselves. Oh. So they started firing rockets to kill. They killed a couple of their generals, targeted nuclear sites that they thought where they were building the bombs in different areas. And then Iran responded, I think, within 6-7 hours. So that was actually a pretty quick retaliatory firing. So, and it sounds like missiles have been going off for 3 or 4 days. It's crazy that there was, is it Mossad? Is Israel's kind of like Green Beret type? I think that's what they're called. They were actually in Iran specifically setting up different bombs and everything. So that was kind of interesting how they got into Iran and kind of booby-trapped it a little bit.
Oh, I guarantee you they... So, this becomes a big thing. Why?
Well, I mean, if you think about what's already transpired, so Iran, if Israel throws up a nuclear weapon into Iran, now you've got Pakistan that has already came out in support of Iran and said, hey, if they nuke you, we're firing nukes into Israel. And China is backing Iran. Russia is backing Iran.
Well, here's the thing I will tell you, like, from knowing history and stuff like that, when we talk about, like, you know, we talk about the big bad wolf, okay? So China and Russia backing, you know, any country, really. Here's the thing. One, history has shown right now Russia is not in a place to really do much other than they build military weaponry and they sell it. Okay. On the flip side, China, yes, they have a pretty large military might when it comes to, because they have sheer numbers, okay? But history has also shown, and political talks, political moves, all these things have always shown that China will not move against a country, even if they're backing someone. They will not move against that country until their borders are at risk. Okay? I go all the way back to the 70s. Example, Vietnam. China backed Vietnam. Okay, North Vietnam. China did not step in the majority of that war until the United States and South Vietnam began to push North Vietnam closer to the border. China said, fuck that, we're not going to have democracy this close to our border. So they intervened. Backtrack to the 50s. Korea, same situation. South Korea, United States, pushing forward, past the 38th parallel, China gets involved. Okay? Every time they get involved is because their borders are are at risk of being closed off or whatever. Okay, the only exception to that, and it still kind of falls into rule because they still consider it their border and stuff like that, is Taiwan. China will flip a fucking lid if Taiwan was to put on its referendum to move as its own country. China allows it to run its own government and all these things, but they still consider it a part of China, even though it's called Taiwan, even though it has its own diplomats, all these things. But the minute that country says, we're our own country, China is going to light them up. Okay? Other than that, Iran can do whatever the fuck it wants. Israel can light them up. Iran can light them up. Where the biggest problem is going to be, like you said, Josh, Pakistan. Okay? Pakistan said they will back Iran. Well, who is the biggest anti-Pakistan?
India!
And what's India got?
Nuclear weapons!
Folks. And guess what?
And where do they border?
Turkey?
China! Actually, do they border China? I think they do.
You had to think about it.
I really do. I'm really looking it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do border China. I was right, goddammit! Yeah! What are you looking at, Joe?
Make some more Sasquatch videos.
Probably.
So,
I mean, it's, and I think the Saudis, they were talking about the Arabs too, how the Arabs do not like Iran either. So,
who? Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia may not like Iran. However, they hate Israel more. Okay. There's already been a war in the Middle East where Iran, Iraq, Saudi Arabia all attacked Israel. And do you know what happened the last time that happened?
The U.S. got involved?
Oh, no. We didn't have to. We kept our hands off of Israel. Fucking let loose. Israel took over half of fucking Saudi Arabia, took over some of Iraq, some of Iran. Like, literally, we had to step in and go, all right, Israel, give them back part of their country. And Israel's like, why? It's ours now. Fuck you. Come on. If we wouldn't have stepped in, Israel would be a lot bigger right now.
Maybe that's why everybody hates Israel and the Jews.
No. The reason Israel is like that is because, here's the thing. You're a small little country. You keep getting fucked with. So you know what? You eventually say, you know what? I'm tired of being fucked with. So fuck around and find out. And that's what happens is a lot of these Middle Eastern countries that like won't just leave Israel alone, or they support the terrorists that attack Israel indirectly, get pissed off because Israel is not a country to sit there and go, I mean, let's face it, they learned a lesson a long time ago, okay? They learned the lesson from World War II where a lot of countries said, no, we're going to keep our hands out, let's talk peacefully. And millions of Jews were killed because people were like, Hitler will stop at this country. We'll just let him go. He'll stop there. Nope, kept going. Oh, we'll let him go to this one. He'll stop there. He wants enough there. Nope, kept going. Israel's like, fuck that. We ain't even giving people a chance. But what's funny about it is at the same time, our government, you know, Trump has already said that he's going to back Israel, which is technically is in line with our, our agenda anyways, because we will back Israel. Now, if they were doing wrong, we would step in and talk to them. But if they're just defending themselves or preemptively defending themselves, you know, in a right way, example, preventing someone from having nuclear weapons that said they'll fucking shoot it at them, then, you know, we're going to step in. Well, at the same time, Bernie Sanders has passed, or is trying to pass, he introduced a legislation, the push for, where's the name of it? Fuck. Here it is. Bernie Sanders introduces bill to block Trump from striking Iran. It's called the No War Against Iran Act. Okay? He just introduced this within the past day. All right? So it hasn't been approved by legislation or anything like that, but he's trying to he introduced this bill essentially saying that Trump could not do anything against Iran without Congress's permission. Well, here's the funny thing. Democrats sit here and talk about the Constitution and talk about how Trump's trying to take extra power and stuff like that. True or false, Josh?
You talk about Mr. King? Mr. King, Trump.
Oh, I'm sorry. The no king. Yeah. The non-king king. That's not really a king, but people want to say that he's acting like a king. That apparently still has to ask people for permission when he's a king. But here's the funny thing about that, okay? The executive branch, the commander-in-chief, can he send a limited number of troops into a conflict without legislative approval? True, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So if this was to pass, they would actually be removing power from the executive office, going against the Constitution. But yet they're trying to say Trump's doing, you know, exactly what they're doing.
Oh, I mean, it's a complete. The Democrats are so fucking out of touch there's a video that explains exactly what a democracy is and what a constitution republic is. Democracy leads to dictatorship. And that's what the Democrats, it sounds like they want. And the Constitutional Republic, that's what the founding fathers put this country as. So, no one person or one group has enough power. So, yeah, they can say democracy, democracy, democracy. They went through a democracy process last year. Oh, actually, I'm sorry they didn't, because they just said, Kamala Harris, here you go. They didn't have a primary. They didn't set up what people could vote for, who they wanted for their person to run for president. No, we're going to anoint Kamala Harris. You took it out of people's hands to vote for that. I'll go back 8 years prior to that. Bernie Sanders was whooping the shit out of Hillary Clinton. Something happened. All of a sudden, Hillary started winning. I don't know. Joe Biden 4 years ago, getting destroyed in the polls. Absolutely destroyed in all that. And then come out. Then he wins the nomination. Where every state that he went to, he didn't do well. And all of a sudden, it just turned around. So,
good thing,
Democrats...
Good thing, bro. You might as well thank all those graveyards for that.
Pretty much.
So, this quote right here is a perfect example of why I fear for our future of our country. So, Alexander Fraser Tytler, I think I'm saying that wrong, a Scottish author, okay, said, and I quote, "The idea that democracy will fail when voters can vote themselves benefits from the public treasury." Okay, so the whole thing says a democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government. It can only exist until the majority discovers it can vote itself largest out of the public treasury, so gifts. Okay, this quote suggests that democracy is inherently unstable because it can be undermined by the self-serving behavior of the elector. That's what we're seeing right now. That's what the Democrats are pushing for. That's why they keep trying to get more people on government assistance. That's why they keep pushing for more government involvement. And
they want illegal immigration, because then that changes the census.
That's more voters to vote for gifts, money, services, all these things that do not attribute to actually making the country better as a whole. They're looking at how you can fix my pocket.
Yep. And how to keep voters voting for you. So if the census comes out, let's say California next census has 5 million more people. Just remember, they lost 2 seats during the last census. Texas got, I think it was like 4 seats actually. Texas got 2, Florida got 1, and there was another state that got 1. But that's 4 seats out of California, which could have probably been Democrats, right? That would have made them win the House with that narrow margin. Now they let all these illegal aliens in, immigrants, aliens, whatever you want to call them. then you get more numbers in the state, and then again you're going to add more people to the House. Another state's probably going to lose it, and now you've got more Democrats in the House.
That's the reason everybody, when they come to vote, they should have an ID.
Yep.
Right. And that's why Democrats are so up in arms about that kind of stuff.
So here's the thing. The census doesn't matter. When they do the census, it doesn't matter if you're illegal or legal. And you don't need, you're still getting counted. And it's how many people are in that state at that time. So you don't even have to be illegal. You don't even have to have an ID. You're still going to be counted as a person in that state. And that's how they keep power, because they get an extra seat in the House.
Mm-hmm. Playing the system.
Yep.
Then you see what happens, like what happened in Minnesota. You heard about that, guys, right?
Yeah, the assassination that was the guy was appointed by Tim Walz, who was a Democrat that's been throwing a bunch of hate rhetoric here lately.
Yep.
But now all the news reporting is he was a really big conservative and had a hit list of all Democrats. Yet the first person that he shot and killed was the girl who was changing her vote to go more conservative. Then she pulled from her party line. Like, that's kind of weird, don't you think?
And he took the law into his own hand.
Yeah, and that's the problem is when you have these politicians throwing all this stuff, the hate, all this stuff, 80s. I don't even want to say it because then it's on thing and I might get in trouble and I have the FBI showing up my house.
Not again.
But this is the rhetoric that these people are spitting out. You're gonna create crazy people that are gonna go after them. They're gonna try to assassinate them again. I seen multiple TikTok videos of people literally threatening federal agents.
Would you guys agree with me if AOC was the next one on that hit list, we could free them for one more day?
No, because I mean, I ain't gonna lie. Like, here's the thing. Like, I don't.
You just think she's hot.
She is fucking hot. Fuck. You want to see a fucking Sasquatch video? Like, I'd be like, I met with AOC. She tried to tell me that a ceasefire means if we see a fire, we see it and we report it, and that's what a ceasefire is.
Like, some of the stuff I agree with her.
No, how do you fucking agree with her? Are you kidding me?
There's a couple things that she has been saying that I do agree with. But
talking, I literally hear the Sasquatch videos talking. Like, I could see her going, I just met this girl. She said she's got chlamydia. Joke's on her. I love to eat clams every day. Like,
no, I mean, I don't think she's the brightest.
On fire.
Like,
I mean, the problem with the Democrats right now, they don't have a message. They're trying to figure something out, and everything that they're doing, they're doing it the wrong way. Why are young males? Why are people starting to turn their back on the Democratic Party? It's because they're not for the middle class anymore. People are opening their eyes and seeing. They care more about illegal immigrants than they do their own people. They care about more illegal immigrants than they do black people. And black people are starting to speak up, and they're starting to see it. That's why you've seen more black people vote for Trump over the last couple of elections than any other Republican.
Well, here's the thing, Josh, is it's never been about the people. It's about how they manipulate the vote. So at a certain period, they were like, you know what? If we get the black vote, we can change this. Well, now black people are starting to wise up. Most. I mean, but I can also say same with white people and stuff like that. But most are, wising up and seeing that, wait, these guys have been saying they were going to do shit for the black community for years. And ain't nothing getting better.
Well, I think they're seeing, like, you go into Chicago, you go to New York, they were putting these immigrants in hotels, 5-star hotels, feeding them. Like, black people are like, hey, why haven't you ever done that for us? Like, you've never done that for us. Like, you've always promised us a better life and a better living situation, but you haven't delivered. But you're delivering it for these guys that are coming into the country illegally. And they're starting to smart. They're seeing through the Democratic bullshit. I mean, I hate to say it.
Don't hate to say it. Say the truth. It's okay.
Oh,
back in the 60s and 70s, the Democrats promised all this shit for the black people, and look what happens. They just gave them government assistance, shitty buildings and stuff like that. And they really haven't helped them since then. They don't give a fuck.
They don't. They really don't. And it's a shame. Like these people are begging and begging and begging for a different and better life. They want to get out of inner city Chicago. They want to get out of Compton, L.A. You know,
they don't want to live it. They don't want to live in the
live in
poverty
gangs.
places anymore. Yeah.
No.
It's just sad. It's just like the bill that he's just passing too for WIC and food stamps. No sugar pops anymore, stuff like that. He wants the healthy stuff for those kids and stuff like that. That way you can't go out and you get, what, $25 crab legs, $25 steaks. Feed your kids all the shitty stuff.
Oh, no, you still... They allow that still. They just don't want you to have all the pop and candy and chips and all that stuff. They're okay with the crab legs and the steaks.
To give you a for instance, you know what I'm talking about.
Sorry, I know what you're talking about.
It's just, I mean,
quiet down there, Sasquatch. What's going on?
No, again, they keep trying to manipulate the system, and since people are wising up, now they're going after immigrants that are here, and basically they're just trying to manipulate. Well, you know, we're fighting to keep you here. And, you know...
It's all for votes.
It's all for votes. It has nothing to do with... They don't care what happens to the illegal immigrants. Like, they don't care if they're being... I mean, perfect example. Hell, in one of the California areas, there was a fucking sign to put up by Democrats that said, you know, hey, Republicans, now you can pick your own stuff for $5 an hour. And it's like, wait a minute. That's below the minimum wage. Like, why are you supporting paying people less than the minimum wage? Oh, that's right, because you don't care that they're being used or manipulated. You just want the votes.
Well, and I was watching a TikTok video of some lady in California, and she's like,
TikTok?
Look, TikTok. TikTok.
It's like TikTok.
She's like,
little things.
Hey, my gardener didn't show up for work today. The landscaper didn't show up. The house cleaner didn't show up. The pool person didn't show up to clean the pool. It's like, nah, does that mean I have to go do it myself? I mean, literally, like, because they figured out they got cheap labor.
I want to know,
and all these they're not paying these people the right wages. They're paying them cheap, not even livable wages under the table, so they can get it's a form of slavery, in my opinion. You're doing it on purpose.
Well, and that's the funny, you know, and to your point, like, I was actually just thinking that. I'm like, what states are actually getting the cheap labor? Because, like, I mean, when I actually had somebody cutting my grass and I had to pay him, it was a white dude. It wasn't, you know, and I had to pay him a lot of money. Like, it wasn't cheap. But
no, I mean,
California.
I will say, you start looking at construction crews. There's a lot of Mexican, Honduran, Guatemalan people that are doing roofs. They're doing a bunch of these lawn care companies.
Where
they do a lot of construction stuff. They do, and I hate to say that, us Americans got fucking lazy. We're not taking these hard jobs. These guys are coming in. They're doing these jobs. So,
you don't have to apologize for that.
I mean, I hate to say it, and it's cheap labor. I'm not going to say a couple people take advantage of it. I'm sure people take advantage all the time.
And that's the problem, is that if they came over here legally, they wouldn't have to be, there wouldn't be an ability for the business owners to pay them bad wages, low wages, and cheat the system, you know. But the fact that they come in illegally, and unfortunately they, the hell was that? Was that James?
Oh, it's baby Sasquatch trying to walk behind me.
I saw.
Trying to creep.
He was creeping.
Like, all right. Yeah, he was.
Oh, crazy. What? But and that's the other part too. Is like all these people protesting that they want illegal immigrants to stay in the country. They're being, you know, majority of them, like, there's not, 90% of them are like, oh, I'm being treated fair and everything. No, they're being used. It's not right.
No, it's not. But I want to get off this topic since we already covered it before. Back to the whole you were talking about Bernie Sanders doing that thing, that bill. You also have Lindsey Graham coming out. Hey, he went to Ukraine, and then the next day, all of a sudden, they bombed Russia with all them drones. And now you've got him. He's trying to get Trump to get involved with the Israel-Iran war. So we have our own. These people are coming and they're trying to push us towards a war because they got all their money locked in these big military. I guess I don't know. These big military contracts they're making bombs, they're making weapons, and all this stuff. They're making a shit ton of money.
Well, yeah.
And Lindsey Graham, there was an article about two weeks ago that says he had money funneling from Ukraine back to him. So if that's true, he should be arrested. He should be all of his bank accounts seized. All this, he needs to be in jail. I don't care if he's Republican or not. He's pushing us towards a war. It's that old mantra of Republicans trying to get us to go into another war. So, that needs to end.
Well, and I agree. And, I mean, it's like insider trading,
Waiting for
essentially.
Goldberg to get back in the ring.
So, let's move on to local stuff here in Cincinnati. Something that's near and dear to Matt's heart. The Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Pride Month.
Oh, no, that's only you. You're the only one who complains about it being a month and not a day.
You're really proud about it.
Is Joe, is that shirt, the American flag, does that got the pride stripes?
Rainbows?
Nope. Says husband, dad, protector, hero.
Oh, you ain't any of that stuff. Maybe just a daddy, but nothing else.
Oh. It's good to see that your kids have two dads, or two moms, however you want to call it.
He's the wife. It's not husband. He's the wife.
I may be the wife, but you're the bitch.
You did look like a lesbian, let's be honest. Yeah, you're one of those bull dykes.
So, but anyway,
so
local news. So
Cincinnati Bengals.
So first, rumors are going around that there's a possibility of a reconstruction to Burrow's contract.
And I think he came out in February and said something that he would be willing to negotiate a contract to restructure his contract. And really all they have to do is, this is what seems the Kansas City Chiefs continue to do with Patrick Mahomes. Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're just going to take that money, instead of it being backloaded, we're going to front load it now. We're going to pay you a big signing bonus. Hey, here's $50 million for a signing bonus. Now the cap hits less. Now we have additional cap space to pay other people.
Well, and that's where, like, there's two sides to it. One, that's what I originally thought they were going to do. And I was disappointed when they came out and they were like, oh, he signed the biggest contract, you know. On one hand, I wonder if they were just doing that to be able to say he was the biggest paid contract at the time. And hopefully, because he's got to stay in that contract for at least a year. I know that's coming up. And then he can restructure the contract and stuff. So hopefully he does that and he follows through what he originally was saying before he even got that contract, is that he wanted to build a stronger team. Not necessarily, I mean, let's be honest. He's going to get paid, you know?
So it's been a year for Burrow. He signed that contract in 2023, the extension. So he is eligible to restructure his contract now.
He can restructure anytime he wants to. He's just waiting for the team to talk to him about it, I guess.
Yep.
But there's some Katie Blackburn and I guess Duke Tobin. They really don't care right now. They're not worried about their 2 defensive ends, obviously. I mean, they can't reach agreement on Trey Henderson. So,
which was good news that they did start talking. Their Trey and the Bengals started talking again. So hopefully we can finally get a deal done. You got to get this deal done before TJ Watt. I'm sorry, you have to. If TJ Watt gets a $45 million contract or $42 million contract, you're kind of fucked with Trey Hendrickson then at that point.
Not necessarily.
No, bullshit, you're fucked.
No.
You're fucked.
Trey Henderson has already said that he's looking around the $35 million mark.
And the Bengals are at 28.
Yeah, it's enough, I think. Let's be honest.
I mean, I said with his age, $35 million. He's not a Myles Garrett. He's not a Max Crosby.
But
he cleans up a lot. But he's not either one of them type of disruptors.
Yeah, well, but how can you say that if T.J. Watt gets 45 that they're screwed with? Because
he's going to definitely want that much.
He can't.
That was my point.
To T.J. Watt.
I can't compare it. I'm just saying the big money contracts for the defensive ends. You've got Myles Garrett's at $40 million. You've got Max Crosby at 35. Danielle Hunter at 35.
And those
TJ Watt's going to come in over 40.
Oh yeah, TJ Watt's probably going to be 45 easy.
So Trey Hendrickson's the last 2 years is top 5 in sacks. You don't think he's going to come back to the Bengals and say, "Hey, you know what? TJ Watt just got $43 million. I want $37 million."
See, I don't think he wants to come in he wants to be paid, don't get me wrong, but he wants guaranteed money.
Yeah.
He's not really worried about the high per year. He wants guaranteed money, and I think that's where it's falling apart at. Because this is going to be his last big contract.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem was he had an agreement with the Bengals prior. Well, this is rumors. I'm not saying spread anything. This is a rumor that the deal was done. All they were waiting for was him to come and sign it. At that time, Danielle Hunter came in and signed that $35 million contract. Trey Henderson said, whoa, hold on. I'm not signing this deal anymore because I feel like I'm better than this guy. I needed more money. And that's why the talks broke down between the Bengals and Trey, is because the Bengals thought they had a deal in place. Trey changed he changed the numbers, the narrative. So that's why there was that time to where they weren't talking, is because of that particular situation. And this source was a reliable source that told me prior that T. Higgins and Jamar Chase's contract was done. They just were waiting to announce it. And sure enough, they announced it like 2 or 3 days later.
And see, that's what the bullshit is, because Trey's going off saying, hey, last year when I signed this $18.5 million contract for this year, they said they would renegotiate for his future this year.
Correct.
And he seems like to say, oh, they haven't been talking to me. They haven't reached out. You had an agreement, but you backed out the deal, buddy.
I mean, he's done this the whole time he's been here in Cincinnati. Like, he signs the contract, then does he outplay? Absolutely, he outplays it. But I hate how these players think they can dictate everything. You sign a contract. And nowhere in that contract says, hey, you can't come back to the negotiation table and say, hey, I outplayed this deal. You need to give me more money. No, you signed the fucking contract. You play out your contract. That's how the contract should fucking work.
Yeah.
I can't sign a contract for my company and I hit goals every single month, they're not. I can go back to the table. They're going to say no. You signed the contract. Oh, I'm just going to sit out. No, we're going to fucking replace you then. So,
nah, I think what he did, he can go back and ask if I want to sign an extension after this year, like we talked about. Bengals already had a number for him though, and then like you said, Hunter came out and had a bigger number, and he said, "Whoa, I don't like this at all because I know I'm better than that guy."
Yep.
Then Myles Garrett came out. Then Crosby came out.
No, they were first. So Myles Garrett was first, then Max Crosby, and then Daniel Hunter. Daniel Hunter was third, and this is after that the Bengals had an agreement with Trey, just waiting for pen to paper. So, but if TJ Watt, I'm telling you, if TJ Watt signs for $43 million, you're going to see him go back and be pissed off that he doesn't have as much money.
I don't think.
And then
go ahead.
And then to your point, we don't have a defensive end except for, we got Miles Murphy and Joseph Asai back, but our rookie, like, why are you trying to do something brand new and change the language of a contract this year? Although you could do it next year and you're probably going to have the same issues. But
unfortunately, like Matt said,
unfortunately, the Bengals look like shit over the last 2 years. They really do. You could have signed T. Higgins last year and gave him less money, $25 million. Now you gave him $28 million. You could sign Jamar Chase for probably $32 to $34 million. Now he signed for $40 million. Like, the Bengals are fucking dumb. They could have redid Trey's deal last year.
Well,
he could have signed for 25 to 28 instead of 30 something.
Look what Buffalo did. They just signed their quarterback to a bigger contract. But that's in the long term, that's going to pan out for him. Be cheaper.
Yeah. Especially with the salary cap continuing to go up and rise. The NFL is making a shit ton of money during these overseas games. It's crazy how much money they are breaking in right now. I at one point you kind of seen MLB was probably number one in America. Now it's not number one anymore. It's football. Number one sport in the world is soccer. Now you're starting to see the NFL pop up across the world, and it's getting more popular.
It's going to take a long time before football even comes close.
It will never get to the point of soccer. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the amount of exposure. It's probably number 2 in the world right now. It beats baseball. NBA's down. I think they're down for this finals 23% viewership from last year.
Well,
darn.
And could it be because the two teams aren't big name teams, or is it just because no one wants to watch the NBA anymore because the politics behind it?
All the above.
Joe's got a look on his face. He's like, I'm finding something. God damn it.
No, I was looking.
Oh, he found it. He found his 2 dicks. They're right here.
Wait.
No, it's fine.
They still look at how to cure his chlamydia.
See, and the problem is, like, I don't know if this is accurate or not, but like, speaking of the NBA and stuff like that, I could foresee him getting a little bit more interesting because didn't something come out where a doctor exposed Brittany Griner's true gender?
Oh, no, I didn't see that. But speaking of Brittany Griner, thanks for pointing that one out. She came out and said she did not make a racist comment about Caitlin Clark that game. So she's like, no, I didn't say that. I didn't say it. Nope. Okay.
Deny.
Yep. Bullshit. You know exactly. And she does sound just like a fucking man. God damn.
They said as a child she had like 5 surgeries to get rid of her Adam's apple.
Well, the funny thing is like Brittany Griner saying that didn't make any racial comments. Like, unfortunately, like many people, it's accepted for what he, she, whatever Brittany Griner is, said about Caitlin Clark is acceptable. It's okay to say it about a white person. Don't say anything negative about another group other than that.
White males, you mean?
Yeah. Where'd he go? He disappeared. Oh, he's getting this exchange. Here comes Josephina. Josephina!
Just proof the world continues to get stupider.
No, you're right.
You getting batteries for your vibrator again?
Nah.
That's his shake weights.
Your shit.
What are you doing? We're supposed to have a podcast, not play around with your fucking toys. Oh, he is gonna shake weights. I knew it. He's trying to practice for tonight. So, while we're waiting for Joe, camping trip over the weekend for Father's Day. Great time with the family. Spent time with one of our guys that we tailgate, Brian and his family. They invited me and my wife and kids to go camping with them.
Josh's new BFF.
And just so everybody knows, I am scared shitless of spiders. I fucking hate them.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
And yeah, I'm a little girl. I'm not gonna lie.
Little girls don't even yell like he does.
Yeah. So
that's hilarious, dude.
So we're sitting by the campfire, and Jameson's got a flashlight. Brian's sitting right next to this tree. I'm sitting on the other side of him, and Jameson's right there by the fire, and he's got a flashlight. So he starts throwing around, and then he just happens to hit this tree at the right angle. And what do you know? You notice there on the fucking tree, a fucking wolf spider about the size of my palm. And yes,
the first time he's ever seen something as big as his palm.
I mean, probably scared the shit out of me. I didn't want to go near it, and Brian's like, oh, just kill it. I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just gonna leave it there. He's like, no, it'll get in my tent tonight. It might go in there. I'm like, fine. Fucking grab my shoe. Go fucking smack the shit out of that spider. Its guts rained all over Brian's arm. So he had spider guts all over his arm. He's like, dude, you didn't have to juice all over me. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. You want me to kill the goddamn thing, so I did.
And what really happened is Josh juiced over a man. That's what we just heard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you pull your pants out before you juiced?
Maybe. I don't know.
He's like,
it's for him to know, and you guys to find out later. But yesterday we're packing up, and we got our tent, and then I start pulling. I get the tent down, and I start pulling up the tarp.
Uh-oh.
And what do you know? Another fucking wolf spider. Not as big as the last one, but it had a sack of the babies on it. I'm like, oh fuck no. Oh, hell no. Fucking go stomp the shit out of that one. And the babies didn't come out this time, so I don't think the babies are ready. But it's a dead spider nonetheless. It's not going to go after them freaking campers. So get my tent set up or put away, roll my tarp up, go. Brian's got his tent that Jen's daughter and her boyfriend were sleeping in. So I go to put it, start putting that away. And the next thing I know, I'm getting the pole out, starting to pull it. This fucking another wolf spider, again, about the size of my palm, fucking pulled out right on the net, and I was like, oh my fucking God. It scared the shit out of me. was like, God damn it, Brian, give me the fucking torch. I'm done with this shit. Good, just give me the torch. I'm fucking burning this fucking tent. So,
Next thing you know, it smells like a bunch of burnt rubber.
And it was just,
Shame.
I've never been in an area with that many wolf spiders, ever. I mean, I grew up in the woods, so I've seen big wolf spiders prior. Yeah, see.
He's so hairy.
So I mean, I've seen them, but I've never seen that many in that small of an area. It was crazy to me. Makes me not want to go to fucking camping in East Fork Lake ever again.
Oh, Josh. See what?
You guys want to go camping?
Yeah.
We want to have an adult camping trip?
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's called a cabin.
Oh, I mean, we can always do a cabin too. That's what Brian said.
Cabin in Gatlinburg.
I don't know
They
about
got
Gatlinburg.
jacuzzis and everything else. So yeah.
Oh, that is true.
Yep. Lazy
Fuck it.
River.
Mm-hmm.
Indoor pool.
Oh, let's do it. Let's start finding the cabin. Kids stay here. Adults go. Yay!
I have no way to.
Well, boys, I gotta go. My phone's about to die. I'm on 2%. So.
All right,
Well,
fellas.
you have a good night.
Well, don't leave yet because remember we got to make sure it uploads. But thanks for joining us for Idiocracy Talk Radio. I know we jammed out. Join us again next week. Again, if you're interested, sending us topics, or if you'd like to possibly get on as a conversation, go to beartracksmedia.com. Contact. You can also email at sales@bearstracksmedia.com. Send us a message. With that being said, we are going to roll out.
Roll out. Roll out.
So white.
It's idiocracy, but you gon' see the value and respect though when you talk with me. So come on, baby, walk with me. It ain't a topic that the crew can't touch. Share our views and our vibe. What we hide? It ain't much. This ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Share our thoughts and our views, you can't stop it. Said this ain't bluffs, this the crew, yeah, we got it. Idiocracy, tell us what's the topic. Yeah.